Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. We're going to go over diversified miners. I know in the comments section some people wanted me to go over diversified mining companies. The diversified mining companies, these guys pay large dividends. They are diversified across a whole bunch of different base metals for the most part. Some of them have coal, some of them have other things mixed in, even like diamonds and other things. So they are truly diversified. They've got lots of mines spread across the entire world. These are the big boys. So let's take a look, and I'll give you my financial opinion. That's all it is. It's not advice. You guys are responsible for your own trading. I'll give you my opinion here and what I see in the charts. So I'm taking a bigger picture view on this. This is Rio Tinto, and let's throw in a trend line here. This is the one that I got excited on. And I saw this kind of develop here. It broke out, came back. This is where I was a buyer here, and it came on up, and we're pulling on back. Now, I see some support here at 65, but I don't see a downtrend line broken yet, and this thing's kind of rolling and curving over. So we have to break this curvature before I get super bullish here, because the momentum's to the downside at the moment. So I'm kind of holding on here. I'm just holding. And Vale, again, these were big breakouts, and sometimes they like to come back and do almost a retest, and this is your breakout there, and this is where I got really aggressive, was up right in here. I bought a bunch, rode it all the way up, and I am riding it back down, and I'm not doing anything with my shares. This could come lower, or, we'll see, but the downtrend hasn't been broken yet. It's still finding its footing before moving higher, so I'm waiting. Here's BHP, and you can see that we've got the breakout here, and that's where I was aggressive. And you can kind of, I would say, put it through here. This could be a bottom here, but what happens is these are big charts, guys. They break out, and then they come back and do a retest, and then they go. But this one doesn't look too bad. It looks like the downtrend line's broken. We could head on higher here in BHP Group. South 32. Looking at this guy here, I'm going to throw it on this side way back here. But this guy looks pretty dang good. Pulled back, and then we're moving on higher. So that one looks really good. Norris Nickel, looking on the right-hand side here. Looks like we're trying to break out of this downtrend line right here, right now. And then let me see if we can see anything else here. No. Just kind of looking to see if there's almost a cup and handle type pattern. Not much else there, but we're trying to break out of this resistance area, coming this downtrend line on the right-hand side. Glencore looks like it broke out. This one would be one that I would be looking at right now if you guys like a big kind of copper company, diversified copper company, and I think it may have cobalt and some other stuff in it, I think. Here's Anglo American Platinum. This is another one that's got a bunch of different things that it mines, but it looks like we haven't broken out of its little downtrend line here yet. We're trying, but it hasn't broken yet. Here's Teck Resources, or no, this is Teck Resources. Teck Resources. I think it was Teck Resources back in the day. Just kind of looking at this here. Looks like we're doing pretty well here. We kind of came down, had a really good buying opportunity here, came back up, breaking through here. So I think this looks good for a potential add and a move higher, because copper looks good. Freeport looks pretty good. I think we've got a little bit of a downtrend break here with copper breaking, but that looks pretty good to move on up to me. So I think Freeport looks pretty good. If you guys like a big copper, I think they probably produce more than just copper. I haven't looked at it. And Southern Copper, again, this is another big boy, big dividends. I'm going to cut that top off there, but that looks like it broke its downtrend here, and it could potentially move on up. So that's Southern Copper on a big long-term perspective. So on the big boys, some of them look like they could have continued downside depending on what they produce a lot of, something like a Vale or Rio. Some of the copper companies look pretty good that are more copper concentrated. So I would focus my efforts on the copper ones just because their charts look a little bit better. I'd be slow to move on the ones that are still in downtrends. I'd like to see them base out, turn around, and start moving on up and then buy into that strength. That's just been, it's worked for me in the past. If you buy into weakness, you can get caught in a continued downtrend move. Now, will these be bottoming here shortly? They very well could be, because the entire commodity sector is looking pretty good, with copper breaking out and some of these other metals looking pretty good and about to break out, like nickel. So those are the ones that I would watch. Like Norris Nickel, if it breaks to the upside of that pattern, then I'd be a buyer. I do own a lot in these companies. They do pay big dividends. So what I'm doing is I'm not really doing anything. I'm just holding on, getting my dividends in there. And if I decide to reinvest those dividends, I'll just put it right back into it. Whatever looks good at the time. So that's my plan, at least. And you guys can do whatever strategy that you want, but I like the copper ones right here. Those look the best. Something like a Glencore looks pretty compelling to me. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.